pantalla no esté en su... Ahí están bien, ¿verdad? Ahí la pantalla no le molesta. Okay. Okay. Sí.
No, se toma por un semestre. O sea, un semestre y hay 10 opciones.
Bienvenidos. Welcome. Ahorita en un minuto vamos a empezar. Se me hace que casi todos hablan español, pero todavía vamos a hacer la presentación en inglés porque la vamos a grabar y luego la vamos a subir a nuestro sitio. Entonces, por eso vamos a hacerlo en inglés, pero aquí tenemos la traducción, ¿verdad? Ok. Bienvenido. Y se me hace que van a traer cafecito en un ratito, que ahí pues van a tener un café calientito ahorita. Un segundito lo traen. Ok, pues hay que empezar. Should we get started? Let's go ahead and get started. Porque ya vamos empezando un poquito tarde y vamos a empezar a las 9:30. We're going to start at 9:30. Y ya son las 9:40. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. For translation, get everything good? Okay. So welcome to our counselor chat. This is a time that we as counselors put together and we focus on this time to really have a space to meet with parents and to really share what we do as a counseling team. We do a lot, and I feel like every year we do more and more because there's just so much to do here at Sweetwater High School. And as you know, we've had a busy last few years, and I know we talk about coming out of the pandemic and all of that, and there's just a lot that has really happened since. It's a new normal, right? We keep hearing that term because things really have changed, and what used to be normal before is not normal now. And I think that as we move forward, we need to start to become familiar with the new ways of doing things all around, but especially here with our students at Sweetwater High School. So thank you for taking the time to be here. I know you guys just walked, right? You guys walked around the block and got the blood going and you guys are good, and hopefully we'll have some coffee here in a second. So just bear with us. We have a little information we're going to share with you guys, and then we kind of open it up for you guys to ask questions and we can talk about different things. The information we're going to share is very general information. But then we can get more detailed as we move forward with our questions, okay? So we are starting at 9:30. We're supposed to start at 9:30. Today is our November 16th chat, and we will have 2 more this year, as you can see there, so you guys can save the date. February 8th and April 12th are 2 days that we will be doing the same thing in the second semester. Okay, so here are your counselors, just so you guys can see us. We're kind of proud of our new picture. This is our new picture. This is an updated picture because we counselors are getting older too. So the older pictures, I still have more black hair and now I got more white. So this is us. These are the names down here. This is the alphabetical order that we cover. As you guys know, all of us cover students by the last name in alphabetical order. So that is us. You don't have to memorize that right now. If and when you want to speak to your child's counselor, you can ask Miss Marty up front. She has a breakdown and she'll let you know exactly who your child's counselor is, okay? Or you can go onto our website, and we'll talk about that in a second. On our website, we have all the information that you need there as you want to contact us, okay? Oh, actually, the website is up there, okay? So we are here for you. So we as a counseling, we as a school are here for you, but as a counseling department, we are here to serve you and to serve our students in a very specific way, in very specific ways. I know teachers cover, classes, cover the math and the English and the histories more in line with their academics for those particular classes and subjects. But we as counselors here, we want to be able to serve our students, and our goal is to serve our students in slightly different ways, in a way where we're helping and supporting our students completely, from academics to social emotional to their goals in the future. Where are you going to college? What career are you going to pursue? So we as counselors, we encompass a whole array, a whole spectrum of things that we want to be able to support all of our students. With that comes you as parents, because you guys are really the first teachers. You guys are the first counselors. You guys are the first adults in their life that are really the ones who are laying that foundation. Honestly, we're just supports here at school. Your teachers, your counselors, your principals. We're just the support. We're here to support you. And I think many times that idea is confused. Some parents and parents out there think that you guys are here to support us. Like, no, you guys are the main ones, right? So we're here to support you guys, parents, and in the home, in all of those areas. So please know that just like we tell our students to communicate with us, we're asking you guys to communicate with us and to call us. And if there's something we can do as counselors to directly support you, we will do it. If what you're asking is something that is out of our scope and is out of our responsibility, we will definitely direct you to the right person or to the right resource for the help that you may need at that point. So we have a lot of resources here within the walls of Sweetwater High School, a lot of resources here, but we also are connected with a lot of resources outside of Sweetwater, community resources. So whatever it is you may need, we're here to support you in that, okay? That's why we're here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Ms. Luansing Garcia. She's going to go ahead and present to you guys on access and communication.
Good morning, everyone. So I don't know if Mr. Garcia even introduced himself. This is Marco Garcia. I'm Miss Lysabeth Luansing Garcia, no relation. And then there's another Mrs. Garcia here in the counseling center. So there's me, there's Mr. Garcia, and the other Mrs. Garcia. We're all Garcia. But I go by Miss Luansing. So there's a Miss Luansing, Mr. Garcia, Mrs. Garcia. So confused. At one point, one of our secretaries was Garcia too, so that was even more confusing.
And our librarian's Garcia.
Librarian and a teacher. I think there's like 8 Garcias on campus. I'm one of your counselors too. Mr. Garcia and I are actually both Sweetwater alumni, so we were actually students here at the same time.
Yep.
We didn't know each other back then, but we're like, oh hey, we were at school at the same time. So we are from National City. We grew up here. And it's definitely our pleasure to be back in our community that helped raise us, to help serve you and our students here at Sweetwater High. So I just want to talk a little bit about communication here at Sweetwater High School in regards to our counseling department. So Jupiter Grades is our primary means of communication for our school. So if you do not have access to Jupiter Grades, or if you don't know how to, that's something that we can help you with. Even if you're not savvy with the computer or you're a little hesitant to access things on the computer, at any time you can tell your student, show me your grades, show me Jupiter Grades, and they should be able to log in right there and show you their grades in real time. So whatever you're seeing on the screen on Jupiter Grades is your student's grade at that particular moment. Now we have some parents who like a paper copy of the grades. They say, can you mail me the grades? I said, yes, we can mail you the grades, but by the time I print it, drop it in the mail, 3 days later, you receive it, and then it sits in your mailbox for 2 more days. By the time you open the grades, it's already different than what you're seeing on the computer. So again, if you need help with Jupiter Grades, we can help with that. We are also available one-on-one if you want to have an appointment to speak to us one-on-one about your particular student. The best way to have that appointment is to call ahead of time and schedule that with us. As you can see, the counselors are walking around. We're always very busy. And sometimes you all come on your day off wanting to meet with us, but we have something scheduled already. And we hate when that happens because we really want to meet with you. So please call ahead of time to schedule an appointment so we can also prepare for you. What we like to do is we like to email the teachers so they can give us feedback. We like to review your students' records. So when we do sit and meet with you, we're prepared. So please call and schedule an appointment ahead of time. And those appointments can be by phone call. We can do a video call. You're more than welcome to come visit us here in the office. And if you're not familiar with suhaicounseling.com, that is the website particular for the counseling center. We post things on there all the time. So if you are not familiar with that website, we encourage you to visit at least once a week. We'll post things not only that's happening here at Sweetwater, but things in the community. So if, let's say, our local universities are hosting an event, we'll post some things up on there. If there are opportunities for community service or even job openings in the community, those things we'll post on suhaicounseling.com. So we encourage you to visit us there. If not there, we're also on social media, so Instagram, Facebook. We're trying TikTok because that's what the kids like, but it's too hard. We can't figure it out. It takes us time to post on TikTok because we want it to look cool for the students, but it takes us too long to do it. So yeah, we're not cool. We're not that cool. So Instagram and Facebook is probably better. All of our posts are there too. So in regards to academic support, we do meet with students one-on-one when their grades start slipping. Each of your counselors has a little less than 400 students, so maybe 390, 370, depending on the alphabet. So we have quite a few students. So as you can imagine, having one-on-one meetings with every single student can become overwhelming. But what we rely on is our teachers. So when our teachers say, I'm noticing this student is having a hard time, I'm noticing this student is not doing their work or their attendance is not looking good, then we have those one-on-one meetings with students. In one school year, your children have 2 official interactions with their counselors. The first one is in fall semester where we go into their classrooms and do a lesson. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And then their second official interaction is when they choose their classes for the next school year. So those are 2 official interactions that your child has with the counselor. And of course, in between time, if they pop in or if they shoot us an email, we meet with them also on the side. But officially, your child has 2 official interactions with their counselors in a given school year. In addition to those 2, if your child is missing credits, or if they're behind credits, or if they failed some of their classes, they get an additional interaction with their counselor where we talk to them about credit recovery. That's available after school. And then when summer gets closer, we talk to them about summer school as well. So those students who are behind in credits get additional interactions with the counselor, so we can assign them credit recovery in summer school. And then in regards to college and career support, again, when students reach out to us wanting one-on-one help, maybe with their college applications or their financial aid applications, we definitely do that. But when it comes to those grade level presentations in the fall semester, here you can see the schedule. So we go into all 9th grade classes and we talk about their actually a 10-year plan. It's a 6-year plan here, but the new one is 10-year plan. So it's the 2 years from middle school, 4 years in high school, and then the 2 additional years after high school. Like what are they planning on doing 2 years after high school? So we've already talked to all the 9th graders in regards to their 10-year plan. So that has just finished last week. We are currently in the 10th grade classes, and that's where you see the counselors kind of running out. They're going into the classrooms to talk to students, 10th grade students, about career exploration. So we do a lesson in all 10th grade classes where they do a career assessment where it's 60 questions about things they like to do, things they don't like to do. Like, do you like to work outdoors? Do you like working alone? Do you like electronics? Do you like to be in the sun? 60 questions. And then it gives them a list of careers that match their interests. For jobs that have very little education required, okay, you can do that right after high school, all the way to jobs that require maybe a doctorate degree, an advanced degree, a graduate degree, and there are 5 levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 job zones that we talk to the students about. So if you have a 10th grader, you can ask them, hey, I heard the counselors went to your class. Tell me about the careers that you chose, or show me the website that the counselors showed you. And they should be able to show you. Now, if they tell you, I don't know what you're talking about, that means they weren't paying attention. And then that's when you call. Ms. Leslie, my student said they don't know what I'm talking about, so I think we need to have a meeting. I'm more than welcome to have that meeting with you to review, to make sure they were paying attention when they were in class. 11th grade, we're starting next week after Thanksgiving. So we'll be in all the 11th grade classes to talk about their different choices for after high school. So we not only talk about four-year university and college, we talk about military, if students want to go straight to the military. We talk about if they want to go straight to work, if they want to do an apprenticeship, of course, college, university, community college. We talk about all the different options, and we present that to 11th graders because in senior year, that's when we have one-on-one meetings with the seniors to go ahead and put into action and create a plan for senior year to get them to where they want to go. So you'll notice all these lessons kind of build on each other from 9th to 10th to 11th to 12th in hopes that by the time we meet with students in 12th grade, they kind of know what they want to do after high school. They'll have the resources and where to go and how to access those resources to pursue whatever plans they want to do after high school. We're also having college presentations. So we often have different representatives from universities and colleges from all over the country come and visit us here at Sweetwater to talk to our students. Ms. Arroyo is actually in charge of scheduling those for us. So the upcoming ones that we have soon, they're kind of flipped, but anyway. CSU San Marcos is coming today, yesterday.
I think they were here yesterday.
They were here yesterday.
Yes, CSU San Marcos.
And Point Loma Nazarene, which is in Point Loma, not too far from here, will be here. Is that today? 17th?
Tomorrow, yeah. Yeah, we're our last
Is it
days.
Thanksgiving yet? I don't know. So Point Loma Nazarene will be here tomorrow. And then we also have career presentations. So a few weeks ago, we had the associate professor from the culinary program at Southwestern College come talk to students. He's actually a Sweetwater alumni. On Monday, we had two alumni who are in the information technology field talk to a group of students. And then today, we have a career presentation from the Penske Trucking Company. So for students who want to work right after high school, Penske Trucking has a great kind of an internship, apprenticeship, work while you learn, earn while you learn type of program. So we invited our seniors who aren't quite sure yet what they want to do after high school. We're going to present that to them today. And then in December, we're hoping to schedule a speaker in the fashion and interior design area because we have lots of students who are interested in that. So we're working on scheduling that for students. And after school for the month of November, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're working with any seniors who are working on completing their California State University and University of California application because those are due November 30th. So we're available after school those 2 days to help students work on their applications.
Passing out the mic. Yes.
Did we already have or are we having any type of presentation in the like about military?
Yeah, so the military presentations come along throughout the year, and I know Mr. Tran is the one of our counselors is the one that sets those up. In addition to that, we have military recruiters, if you want to call them recruiters here. I want to say like once a month.
Yes, they're here all the
If
time.
not more, and they have tables outside at lunchtime where they're constantly giving information to students. It's a soft recruitment because of course we don't want like the heavy recruitment, but just giving information. When I say recruiting, it's more like they give information. So yes, we do have a presence here on campus with our military. We have our ROTC program here as well that we kind of try to connect with that for students that are interested in a possible career in the military. It's through the Marine Corps, but we tell students, maybe you want Navy, maybe you want Air Force. It's still okay because through our program that is run through the Marines, you still get a taste of that military structure, the discipline, and all of those ideals of being in the military, right? So yes, we do have that. If you want a little more information on that, you can contact us, and we can kind of guide you through that as well. Okay. So I know we have some coffee here. If anybody now wants to get up and get it, that's okay. I know if you guys have. So so just with the few things that Ms. Luansing just presented, there's a lot going on here. As you guys can see, there's constantly a lot of info, a lot of activities. There's a lot that's happening here at Sweetwater. Sometimes we have that reputation that, oh, over at Sweetwater, they're not really providing all that much. But the truth is we are. I mean, sometimes I don't know how that misconception gets out there, but there's really a lot going on here. A lot of resources, a lot of support, a lot of information. So with that comes this next piece, right? So social emotional support. Because there's so much going on, the stressors and, you know, the anxiety, we have a lot of students that are in need of social emotional support. We're seeing a lot of students that have declining mental health for one reason or another. And every situation is different, but I'm not gonna lie, as a school, we're seeing an uprise in that. So we're seeing more and more every day students coming in here. This is the first place they come because that's part of what we do. That's one of the big things that we do. We support students' mental health. We're seeing students come in that are dealing with anxiety, students coming in dealing with stress, depression. Then all of that, as you guys know, that leads to depression. So we're seeing kids that are just depressed. So then from there, we see a decline in attendance. So then students don't show up. Students don't show up to school anymore. So Mr. Lara, who's our attendance coordinator, he has a list of those students. Many of those students on that list that just are not showing up is because of their mental health. I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them are. And then as a result of that, grades go down and students start failing. And students start falling behind in their academics and their credits, and then they're putting their graduation in jeopardy, which is the final goal here, right? And you want to graduate. So we are seeing that. So as a department, we're doing everything we can do. As a school, we're doing everything we can do. We're just one piece to that puzzle. But here, students and parents can definitely come in. It could be something as basic as coming in because you're kind of having some anxiety. You're not having a good day. You can come in and we have a wellness room. You guys kind of walk by the wellness room, right? So you guys can come in and students can hang out in there 15, 20 minutes if needed. If that's just what it is, that's what that room is for. You need to step out of your classroom. A lot of people. We are a school of 2,600 kids. I don't know if you guys know what that means, but 2,600, I do because I'm here every day. 2,600 bodies, students, teenagers is a lot. That is a lot, especially during lunch, passing periods. When we go out there, they're all coming out. It's like, you know, it's like a little ant farm, and you just see them everywhere. And you know what? And it is a little overwhelming when I go out there, because I'm usually in here, but when I go out there during lunch, it's a lot. So a lot of students are feeling that too, and a lot of students are having issues with that. So it's hard. So students can come in and sit in there in the quiet for a little while if that's what they need to do. Now, if it's something more serious than that, then that's when they can speak to us. And there's other resources. We have therapists here on site, and we have therapists off site. And a lot of it is contingent on insurances, Medi-Cal, but if a student does not have insurance, we can still provide help for them. We can still find a therapist that will help them. And we have the Family Resource Center that's off campus. That is a big support to our school, where we are able to refer students over there for a lot of their mental health needs. So just know that is something that we are here for. It's something that's real. It's something that's happening. The uptick in the mental health crisis was happening before the pandemic, before COVID-19, but definitely during and after, we have seen it go up even more. So I definitely do think that there's a connection there. I'm not one to blame everything on COVID and the pandemic, because I know there's a lot of people that will do that. They want to blame it all on that. So I'm not blaming it entirely on that, but did it play a role? It definitely played a role, and we're seeing that now. So just know that if your student is dealing with any kind of mental health issue, whether it be depression, whether it be anxiety, whether it be stress, our seniors, I know Ms. Luansing just talked about everything we're doing with the seniors and college applications, and they're in a place now where, and usually 11th and 12th graders are in a place now where we're talking about, what do you want to do after high school? That brings anxiety because all they know is school. All they know is this school and this structure. But what do I want to do after high school? That brings anxiety. Do I want to go to college? Do I want to work? Do I want to go to the military? That's a whole life-changing experience. It's another chapter that brings anxiety. So we're also dealing with those students as well. So just know that if your student has a specific need in the area of mental health, please come and talk to us, and we can help you navigate that, because it's a broad spectrum when it comes to mental health. So really, those are the three areas that we really cover. It was a very general, everything, even though it's a lot, it's still very general. There's so much more in between, right? But those are the general areas when we talk about how we serve our students here at Sweetwater, and it really is the academics, everything academic, credits, all of that, right? Classes, everything academic, career, college and career, meaning post-secondary. What do we want to do after high school? Because it's not just about what happens here in June when students graduate, then no, we want to make sure that when we send them off, we're sending them off in the right direction. So college and career and social emotional needs. So those are really the three main domains, areas that we support our students in, and all the details in between, okay? This is just how you guys can contact us. So we talked about our website. SUHI Counseling is an awesome website. Everything is on there. Thanks to Ms. Luansing Garcia. She is our webmaster. She's our tech person. She's our social media guru. That's what she does. So she is the one that manages all of those for us. So you guys can go on any of those. We have our Facebook, we have our Instagram, we have our Twitter. So you guys can go on there, and whichever way you want to get information, all the information that comes from our counseling department goes out through those outlets. Okay, so just remember. And I want to say thank you. I mean, this is where we can open it up to any questions, concerns. We'd be happy to answer those. Yes, Mr. Vega.
Sorry, I was in and out.
And thank you for the copy, Mr. Vega.
Yeah, Mr. Vega.
It's all right.
Is there any information in the California grant plan?
California grant plan, yes. So parents of seniors. Do we have any parents of seniors here? Parents of seniors. Okay, so this year, the district went back to the original grant plan at the beginning of this year. If you guys had any seniors in the past, for the last 3 years, the district moved to a California grad plan, which meant students can graduate with 26 credits. Like, that's super good. Like, just with like 26 credits, students were able to graduate. That was born from COVID. When COVID happened, all of that. So for 3 years, right? It was 2 years or 3 years? I want to say it was 2 years? 3, it was 3, right? So yeah, class 20, 21, and 22, yes, was a 26 credit grad plan. This year, so all of those kids, everybody got it, whether you needed it or you didn't need it, everybody got the 26 credits. This year, the district said, that's it. We're going back to the original 44 credits, which is what it's always been. Only everybody got used to 26, but it's always been 44. But we soon realized that there's still a lot of students, seniors, this year, class of 2023, so that's your seniors right now. There was a lot of seniors that were still credit deficient, very short in credit. So the district allowed this year to extend it again, but not to everybody, just to the students who needed it. And we as counselors made that determination by going through every transcript to see who were those students that were credit deficient, short in credits, and who would need the California grad plan, which is that old 26 credits. And those are the students right now who are qualifying under the 26. So if your student doesn't need it and your student is fine, then it doesn't matter. Then it doesn't matter. Your student will graduate under the 44. If anybody here has a senior who was in that boat, then we've probably already talked to you, or we've talked to your student, and your student will be on the 26 credit grad plan. So if we haven't talked to you about it yet, it's because you don't need it. It's because you don't need it. Because if your student needed it, we would have already reached out.
Yes.
So that's what's happening with the 26 credit grad plan for this year. It's only for the students who needed that support.
Can I add a little?
Yes.
So just because a senior meets that criteria doesn't mean they automatically qualify for the 26. We need to have a face-to-face meeting with the counselor, administrator, you and the student, and there's paperwork that needs to be signed. Unfortunately, we do have some senior parents that we've called and emailed and with no response. So if we don't get a response, unfortunately, those students stay under that 44 credit requirement. We're continuing to call, but for some parents, we're not getting a response. So if you know of anybody, if you have friends who have kids who might be in this place, to say, hey, did you get that call? Because call them back, because if you don't call them back, they're not going to put you under that 26. So it's not automatic. So please make sure that you return the phone call from the counselor if you fall into that category.
Thank you, Ms. Nguyen. Yes, that is a good point. Because some parents are, so they're making it a little harder this year, right? I told you, like the last 3 years, everybody got the 26 credits. There's no signature, no meeting, no nothing. This year, they're making it a little harder on us. So yes, parent needs to come in, sign, talk about it. I sign, parent signs, and an administrator has to sign. So they're making it a little harder, but it's worth it, because if your student needs it, come in. Like the parent's gonna come in and sign anything you want me to sign, I'll sign. But we have those parents that don't come in. And I feel bad for the student, because we need their parent to come in and sign. Or maybe we shouldn't feel bad for the student, because the student put themselves in that situation. I don't know. But that's where we're at. Yes.
Are you guys reaching out to the students as well?
Oh yeah, we've had, so the first meeting was with the student, and we let them know, hey, your parent needs to come in, so kind of work with us here. So yes, but I'm sure at some point we'll get them all in. Like I don't know if we have to go to the
Sometimes
house
we
and
say,
sign it there.
Mijo,
do a phone
I
visit.
need you to call your mom from your phone right now in front of me, because hopefully they'll answer them.
Yeah.
But
'Cause
even
we
when they call,
don't answer.
they don't answer. So
Yeah.
we try as much as we can every which way,
Yeah.
but we try.
Yes.
Una pregunta.
Sí.
¿Ustedes como consejeros a los estudiantes asesoran la materia que tienen que tomar cada año para cumplir esos créditos?
Sí, es exactamente lo que hacemos. So the question was, as counselors, do we look at the courses that students need to take in order for them to meet the graduation requirement? Yeah, that's one of the main things that we do as counselors, is we make sure that a student is taking the correct classes every year. So, and it's very clear cut. As 9th graders, they're going to take these classes. 10th graders, these classes, 11th and 12th, so on and so forth. Because yes, there is a structure in how a student goes from 9th to 12th in the order of classes that are taken. And we make sure every year when we create that student schedule that the correct classes are being taken. Like Ms. Luansing said earlier, we have a little under 400 students, each one of us. Do we make mistakes? Yeah, we make mistakes. It's nothing that's going to cause them their graduation, but as the years go on, you kind of make a mistake, like, oh, this student should have taken this class in the 10th and he didn't. Okay, so I'll make sure he takes it in the 11th. You see what I'm saying? So yes, sometimes we because we have a lot of students, but that's what we're doing. We're constantly making sure that students are taking the correct classes.
And part of when we go into the classrooms and do those lessons, we always talk about their graduation requirements.
Yes.
And then in the spring, when the students choose their classes, they're actually sitting with the counselor. So then we review their credits and we make sure they choose what it is that they need. But we always tell students that it's important that they advocate for themselves. So they know their credit, they should know their credits, the classes they need to take. So when they meet with us, they're just double checking and make sure what they're choosing is correct. Because Mr. Garcia is right. When you're looking at 400 transcripts, sometimes you'll slip. It's just a margin, it happens. But I trust that my students are paying attention to their schedule. Like if they're missing a math class, they're gonna be like, hey, Ms. Wansing, I'm missing a math class. Oh yeah, okay, let's fix it. But some students will sit there all year long and be like, I never had a math class. Like, dude, why did you say something? Well, I didn't know. Like, of course you know. So stuff like that happens too. So we tell students, make sure you're paying attention too, because I make mistakes, but you need to know, you need to pay attention too. Don't trust me 100% because I'm not perfect. You need to be paying attention to.
And Ms. Luansing talked about the 8-year plan or the 6-year
10-year
plan earlier. That we 10-year plan now
10-year
keeps
plan.
going up. It used to
They
be the
keep
4-year
changing it.
plan, then it went to the 6-year plan. Now it's the 10-year plan. But it's the plan. It's basically the plan, their academic plan, and that's what we do with all the 9th graders. So we know what they need to take 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th because we're the counselors. We've been doing this for many years, so we know exactly what they need to take. But to us, that's not enough anymore. It's just like she said, we want them to know what they need to take. So that's where their plan comes, their academic plan, 10-year plan comes into place where they know, like you should know that in the 9th grade, you're gonna take world geography. You should know that in the 10th grade, you're gonna take world history. In the 11th grade, you take US history, and your senior year, you're gonna take economics and government. Like you should know that. And that's where we know that because we've memorized it, but we want the students to know that because we want them to know the path that they're going on. We don't want it to just be like, oh, I just take the classes my counselor gives me on my schedule in the 9th grade. Oh, in the 10th grade, I just take these classes because my counselor gave me these classes. No, we want them to know that these are the classes I need to take as a 9th, 10th, 11th. So your students take their education into their own hands as well. And if there is a discrepancy, it's like, wait, why are all my 10th grade friends in world history, but I'm a 10th grader too, but I have US history. That doesn't sound right. US history is an 11th grade class. Maybe there was a mistake. Like okay, you come in, oh, let me change it. And then, we go ahead and change it. And usually we catch those little mistakes the first week of school because we do and we'll catch them the first week of school, but things of that nature. So, but yes, that's exactly what we do. Make sure everybody takes the correct classes. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Community service hours. Okay, that's a big part of always has been a big part of our graduation requirements, community service hours. So historically, it has always been 30 hours of community service. A student has the 4 years to do that, which I think is very little for 4 years, but all they got to do is 30 hours of community service in order to graduate. But of course, the pandemic derailed all of that, right? So during pandemic, those were waived. Students did not have to do community service hours because obviously they couldn't be out in the community during that time. So now, this is the last year. So class of 2023 this year, they still have it waived. So this year's class does not have to do community service hours. Next year, so if you have an 11th grader right now who will be a senior next year, class of 2024, those students will be the first again to kickstart the community service hours again. So, but we're going to start at 50%. So next year's class only needs to do 15 hours of community service hours. So which is not a lot at all. And then after that, we're going to kick it back to where it should be, which was a standard 30 hours. And again, if you go to our SuhaiCounseling.com website, there's a whole tab on just community service hours, and all that information is there, right there. A tab, and all the information is there. We have some possible places in the community: Olivewood Gardens, City of National City, the library, Paradise Valley Hospital. So there's a lot of places where students can go and do their community service, and the form is there. So if you click on there, then you get the form. That's the form that has to be filled out. Every student knows that these forms have to be approved by their history teacher, history or social science teacher, okay? Those go through them, not through us. It has to go through their history, social science teacher. Reminder, get the community service approved first before they do it. I'll say that again. Important. Be sure that your students get the community service that they're gonna do, wherever they're gonna do it, get it approved first before they do it. Because the last thing, and it happens all the time, they don't get it approved, they go and they do it at their Tio's taco shop for the summer. Work for free, I work for free, I didn't get paid is what they tell me. I didn't get paid, I work for free, I sweat and I clean. Yeah, but that's a business. It's a private business. That's not like a nonprofit community center. So you benefited your uncle's taco shop or restaurant. So we can't give you. Oh, I did like 40 hours though. Sorry, that's why you should have gotten it approved. So that's just an example. And I did have the taco shop one years ago. I had that one, and I'm like, sorry. So be sure that they get what they want to do. They put it on that form, take it to their teacher. The teacher will read it. Once the teacher, yeah, that's perfect, sign off on it, then they can go do it. Okay? Any other questions? Did somebody have a question here in the team?
Para las asesorías de martes y jueves, los muchachos tienen que hacer cita o llegan y
Para las aplicaciones de colegio. Okay, so on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we are doing the college application workshops here after school in the month of November. Just walk in. Pueden entrar. Okay? Just go ahead and walk in. So we're going to be helping with those in November. And then at some point in the year, we're also going to do the workshops for the FAFSA. So this is for seniors. Parents who are seniors, where we're going to start working on the FAFSA, and we'll also support in that. Yes, the applications can be a little tedious and confusing at times, so that's what we're here for, to help you guys with that. We had a couple students in here yesterday that we supported with that as well. Okay. Hey, thank you for coming, sir. Okay. Any other question? Yes, ma'am. Okay, tutoring, we also have our tutoring schedule up on our website. Everything is there. So we have tutoring. We have a great tutoring schedule that we put together. So students can go ahead and look at that. So we have all levels of different, different classes. If your student is in an AP class, give me an example of a class your child may need help in. Or honors, right? Math. So for example, if it's math, there's all levels there. Even if it's an AP level, if it's an IM1 level, a beginner level, the teachers are trained to provide support.
And they don't have to go to their teacher. They can go to any of these.
Any of those, yeah. A lot of tutoring options here. And then we also have tutoring through Inferno Lounge, don't we?
I think it's there.
Or is this also?
Yeah, it includes.
Okay, so it's all in there.
Yeah.
Perfect. So it's all in there. Any other questions? These are great questions. And I'm happy we're answering these questions, because these questions are being recorded, and we're gonna go ahead and upload this.
Yes.
And can you tell me where they can find it?
ToHighCounseling.com, the same place.
There you go. See? I learned something. Yes, ma'am.
Acaban
Sí.
de contar que ustedes preparan a los alumnos para ir a la universidad,
Sí.
al colegio,
Sí.
¿sí? ¿En qué momento puede uno venir a checar con ustedes si nuestros hijos agarraron las clases adecuadas para poder dar el siguiente paso?
Cuando quiera haga cita.
Sí, pero ¿qué grado, perdón? Así, ¿en qué grado sí? Mi hija ahorita está en el 11.
Okay.
Puede ser ya o hasta el 12 o en...
Puede venir ya.
Sí.
Porque, mire, and so the question was, at what point can we come and talk to a counselor to make sure that my child is taking the adequate classes to go to college, right? So for starters, so the first things first, you guys can come talk to us at any time. But then the question was, is there a particular grade? Like, is there a particular grade where we should do that? There is no particular grade because it goes back to the question I answered earlier. All the classes that students are taking are to prepare a student to graduate and to be college ready, whether it's 4-year college ready to a university or whether it's to community college like Southwestern College or San Diego City College. So to answer that question, all of the classes that students are taking here at Sweetwater High School are college prep courses. Doesn't matter what order they take them in, doesn't matter which classes they take. If they graduate with a good GPA and they complete all their A through G requirements which are ingrained in every schedule that we give a student will be on track to apply to a 4-year university their senior year in high school. If that makes sense.
Can I add a little
Yes.
part to that? So like Mr. Garcia said, your children are all taking the classes they need to gain admissions to a university because it's part of just what they take. So they're taking the right classes. The part that needs to happen is the grades. So if your child is really thinking about going to a 4-year university, they should really be getting A's and B's in all their classes. So that's what you can do on your end to monitor, making sure your kids are getting A's and B's. More A's than B's, very few C's, no D's or F's. Okay, because if your child is getting A's and B's, and I tell the freshmen this, as long as the whole time in high school you get A's and B's, I guarantee you will get admitted to a university. If you don't, you come back and say, Ms. Lewansing, you lied to me. Okay, but I guarantee you will get admitted to a 4-year university as long as you get all A's and B's the whole time in high school. You need financial aid and scholarships. I guarantee you will get financial aid and scholarships as long as you're getting A's and B's. Now, if you get C's, D's, and F's, no, that's not what I said. I said A's and B's. So that's really like just easy because all of these requirements and things, it's a lot to remember. But just to keep it simple for you and your children, just get A's and B's and everything else will work out. Now you start getting C's, D's, and F's, then we start having problems. Yeah.
Very true. I don't want anybody to walk out of here today thinking that their child may be taking classes that are not setting them up to go to college. Everybody at Sweetwater High School is taking classes that are what we call college prep courses, that as long as they get an A or a B in all of those classes, they're set to go to college or to a university. Once they apply, of course, but yes. Yeah.
So how many classes, for example, per year or per semester do they take that they need to take in order to get to the, or should I, no, ask it the other way, sorry. So how many classes do they have left after the classes they take to complete their A through G requirements? How many do they have left to be able to pick themselves to say, okay, I'm gonna take these classes because I wanna be a doctor, or I'm gonna take these classes because I wanna be a lawyer?
It could be any, there's no set number, there's no set amount, but I see what you're saying. So yes, so students will take their A through Gs, right? But then, for example, I'll give you guys an example. Can a student take classes here? I think this is what you're asking. Can a student take classes here that will maybe help them for that future career that they may be thinking about? Doesn't necessarily mean those classes are going to get them into that major or into that college, but it's more for them to help them know and to consider and to maybe verify in their mind that, yes, this is what I want to do in the future. So for example, here we have a pathway for computer science, right? We have exploring computer science, which is the beginning level. Then they can go to AP Computer Science Principles, and then AP Computer Science, which are the 3 levels, right? So if the student is thinking about a career in the future as a computer science engineer, anything in the area of computer science, a student can take those classes. Those are elective classes, they're side classes, but those are classes that would help that student say, this is what I want to do. I love this and I definitely want to pursue this after high school. Or a student is going to say, I'm glad I took these classes, but now I know I don't want to do this. And that's good too. And that's good too, because at least that's something you can scratch off, the list. So yes, we do. And so we have the Health Academy here. So students can take classes from our Health Academy if they're planning on pursuing a degree in the medical field. We have engineering. We have a 3-year pathway in engineering here as well, if a student's pursuing something in engineering. So yes, we have sports med. So we have different pathways here that students can, and we encourage students to take those if you have a feeling that that's what you might want to do in the future. But those courses are more for the student to really discover themselves. Are those courses necessarily gonna get you into a college? No, it doesn't mean that. I mean, they may look at that, but those are more for you. Your overall GPA, your overall, what you did overall as a student, because remember, colleges and universities are looking at a well-rounded student, right? Sports, ASB, good academics. Maybe you took a couple AP classes. That's what they're looking at. Okay.
Let me just
Yeah.
kind of piggyback on that a little bit. So one of the things I tell students, and I tell them, look, if you passed all of your classes the whole time in high school, how many credits are you going to have? And they look at me like with a blank face. I said, okay, break it down. Each semester, how many credits do you earn each semester?
6.
And they look at me. I'm like, okay, let me break it down some more. How many classes do you take? And they're like, 6. Okay. So if you pass all 6 classes, how many credits you're gonna have? They're like 6. Okay, 6. So in a school year, you take 6 first semester and 6 second semester. How many are you gonna have in a year?
12.
They're like, 12. I'm like, okay. So if you pass all your classes all 4 years, 12 times 4 is what? And that's it gets harder. Like
48.
48. Okay, but and I tell them, but you only need 44 to graduate. So then you can see the light bulb turn on. They're like, oh, that means I can fail 4 classes. No, okay. That means in case you mess up somewhere along the way, you've got kind of 4 spaces to retake something if you need to. Okay. So kind of in response to your question, out of those 44 credits, there's 7 elective credits that are required. So that's where you can take some of those other courses. So it just depends how a student plans everything. 9th and 10th grade is kind of locked because they have to take PE. But once PE is gone and once their sciences are done, because they usually take that in 9th and 10th grade, they do their 2 years of science and they do their 2 years of PE. That opens up their schedule to take other stuff if all things goes well. Like if they're passing all their classes, then 11th and 12th grade is when they can kind of start playing around with their schedule a little bit, if they're on track. Yeah.
Another piece of trivia. So student needs 44 credits to graduate, right? But if they pass everything, they can get up to 48. Can a student not but have 40 credits? If a student has 46 credits, can he still not graduate? Yeah, they still may not graduate. So I've had students that have had over 44 credits and they still don't graduate because, and this is what we tell the students, even on the 26 credit grad plan, this question has come up. It has to be the correct 44 credits, or it has to be the correct 60, the required, I shouldn't say correct, the required 44 credits, or the required 26 credits if you're on the California grad plan. So there could be a student, we have that every so often, that has 46 credits. They're like, oh, I got 46 credits. But you're still not graduating because somewhere along the line, you failed your English 9 back in the 9th grade and you never made it up. And English 9 is a required class for graduation. But I got those, but those were from just random electives. That's because you took ROTC and band and folklorico, and that's what gave you those credits, and that's why you're at 46. But you never made up that semester in 9th grade English or in 10th grade world history, and that's a required credit in order for you to graduate. The answer that's always a tricky one. Can a student not graduate even though they got 46 credits. Yes.
No, that's exactly, that's the, my, I think he's a senior. That's exactly the class, you hit it on
Yeah.
that's the class that he failed in ninth grade.
And he never made up.
He did, but
Okay.
I had to push
Yeah.
because he was already, going into 11th grade. It was, I think, the last semester of 10th grade.
Mhm.
And I was like, hey, when are you gonna make up this class? Because we try to make it up
That year?
But there wasn't room for him. There was no room for him to come and make up the class.
That happens
Or any
sometimes.
priority to the
Yeah.
class that we're
Yeah,
in.
that's another reason to pass your classes, because we cannot guarantee that there will be credit recovery or summer school. Like,
Available.
it's always a year by year basis whether we're going to offer those things. So we tell students that all the time, like, don't count that there's going to be credit recovery or summer school. Like, I'll just do it junior year. I'll do it then. Like, no, don't do that, because we might not have space. It might not even be available, with funding and everything. So that's another reason why you should not fail your class.
Yeah, there was no.
Yeah, that
It
happens.
happens.
11 or
That happens,
10,
definitely.
and I was like,
Mr. Vega.
They told why we can guarantee they're gonna go into college. And actually, more than Monday got extended to 2030.
It did. I just heard that, and that's a great thing. So Compact for Success is one of the programs or partnerships that our district has had for many years. Compact for Success is with San Diego State University. So there is a list of requirements, and I'm not going to go over all of those right now. If somebody has specific questions about that, you can either look at it online or you can come talk to us. But as long as a student, by the time they finish their 11th grade year and they've met certain requirements, there's like a GPA requirement, there's English and a math requirement that they have to do. You have to be a student in the district since, it's gone since
It's
8th
ninth.
grade, then it
It's
went ninth grade. Okay, since the 9th grade, you got to be a student in this district since the 9th grade. So there's certain requirements. As long as a student in our district meets those requirements by their junior, senior year, then they are eligible for the Compact for Success, which means guaranteed admission into San Diego State. It's a great program. A lot of our students throughout the years have gotten into San Diego State under Compact for Success. San Diego State is a very difficult university to get into now. Actually, all universities in San Diego, because everybody wants to come to San Diego, if you guys didn't know that. Everybody loves San Diego. So our universities are packed. And it's kind of sad because sometimes our local kids don't get into San Diego State because it's so packed, because you got all these other students from surrounding states and up north, and sometimes our own students here in San Diego can't go. But under this Compact for Success, it's a great partnership that we've had with them for years, but there is the requirements that come with that, okay? And that can be a whole presentation in itself. Sí.
Volviendo a la pregunta de ella, si su hijo falló inglés en el noveno grado, ustedes saben que lo necesita para graduarse, ¿por qué dejan que elija otras clases y no lo ponen ustedes otra vez en esa clase para que las pasen?
Porque no podemos. Porque el estudiante que... So the question was, if we know that a student failed a class at some point, like we talked about 9th grade, 10th grade, why don't we as counselors put them back in that class? So, okay, so with certain classes, we can do that. So with certain classes, we can do that. With certain classes, for example, we can't. So like with the English classes, those have to be done in credit recovery. That can't be taken again because that takes spots from our incoming 9th graders. So it's not like, hey, let me put a 10th grader back in English 9. We can't do that because then that starts to take up spots. So we have to shoot for credit recovery, or a student has to go to summer school. Now there's certain classes that aren't really grade specific, so we can do that if there's space. I'll give you an example. Sometimes if there's space, we're able to do that with math, because math isn't always grade specific. Should be. IM1 is 9th grade, IM2 should be 10th grade, and IM3 should be 11th grade. But sometimes with those, we can fluctuate a little bit. So with math, again, if there's space, we'll put them back in to take it again. But if not, if a student fails the class, it's the student's responsibility to do it in credit recovery or in summer school. Okay.
Una pregunta.
Yes.
Suponiendo si reprobó como dicen en inglés 9,
Sí.
¿sí puede tomar inglés 10? Bueno, como el 10 puede tomar el que sigue,
Tiene que tomar
pero
inglés.
sí puede aunque haya reprobado.
Sí, sí. Si el estudiante tiene que seguir en inglés 10, inglés 11, inglés 12.
Aunque haya
Entonces,
reprobado.
por eso dije, con las clases de inglés, esas sí tienen que seguir y no podemos ponerlos en la clase de atrás. Pero con matemática, con esa clase sí podemos, si hay cupo, sí los podemos poner en la clase otra vez, porque matemática es una materia que si no ha dominado el primer nivel, uno no puede subir a segundo. Sí. Okay. Yes, Mr. Vega.
One of the other things they gotta know too is they're guaranteed to come back to work for the district if they don't go to any class that applies to the district. So it's important that they're teachers. If they go study as a teacher, they can come back to work in the district. They're guaranteed to go in.
I don't know if we know about that. I don't know. I don't-
That program
I'm not
is-
qualified to speak on that because I don't know about that.
Yeah.
If they work,
Oh, that's good.
they're guaranteed to come back to work if they're become perfect.
Good.
That's-
I don't know. We don't know about that. We don't know about that.
For the last,
Was there a bonus for that? Because we didn't get
Mr.
that.
Vega, then
We
you need to
came
get
back.
up here and present on that, because I don't know about it. Oh, okay, no.
They started with Karen Gillen. She started doing that.
Oh, okay. Well, that was more than 2 years ago. That was like, what? Karen Janney was like 4 years ago. wasn't it?
That means it might not be in place anymore. If it was her
She
thing.
has it too, see?
Okay.
When you say guaranteed to.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna speak to that.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
She has it.
Okay, so if a student, okay, so let me understand. So if a student graduates from our district, they go to San Diego State for what?
Under
For-
compact.
They're like being a teacher.
Oh, for a
Graduates from that,
teacher, for a
she tries to
teacher.
come back to her district. She has a spot in our district if she comes back.
And who said that?
That was an old superintendent, and the new superintendent still.
See that? Yeah, that's good. No,
That's
no, I
great
think
because we
that's
need people.
good. But what happens if what happens if there's no space for
I don't know. We're not qualified to speak on that, so
Yeah.
we're not
that?
talking about it.
That can be a very touchy. Yeah, 'cause
We
that
don't
can-
work for human resources,
Yeah, because
so
that
I
can be
don't
a
know.
very touchy claim there
Yeah.
because it can be as easy as, hey, I graduated from San Diego State. I got the paper here that says I am a certified math teacher. There's no math positions. So if there's no math positions, then they can't hire you. So that's a very wild claim. But yeah. You know what? Actually, we are in a good place right now. And right now we do have positions, but you guys got to remember that goes like this. Because there was a time where a lot of people were getting laid off. So it just depends. But yes, right now we are in a good place. We do need teachers. Yes. We do need teachers right now. So that could work right now.
Una pregunta.
Okay, yes.
Si ustedes le ayudan a los muchachos a agarrar las materias que ocupan para cada año, semestre, no sé cómo trabajan, ustedes le están diciendo, pero ellos pueden tomar lo que quieran. O ustedes le dicen, si yo te agarro otra materia que no, como dijo hace rato, que no es necesario para cumplir con el requisito. Si agarran una materia que no debe, ustedes los agarran para decirle, no agarres eso, o le dicen,
Okay. Hay dos diferentes tipos de materia. So the question was if a student wants to take certain classes, but you know that those aren't required classes, do you guys redirect them? So I can answer that question like this. There's two types of coursework, right? One is the required coursework. So yes, the required coursework, they have to take. Like that, you have to take. The world history, the geography, the U.S. history, the IM1, IM2, IM3. So that's the stuff you have to take. The economics, government, like that stuff you have to take. But then the other type of coursework is what we call the electives. So a student can take and choose. That's where the student can choose are his or her electives. So yes and no. You see what I'm saying? So there's subjects that and courses that we will as counselors let them know they have to take because that's required for graduation. And then there's the courses where they can choose and it's their choice. And that's all those electives we talked about, computer science, welding academy, health academy, all of the VAPAs, folklorico, band, all that's courses they can choose to take and they still get credit for that under their electives.
So they actually, it's not like in middle school where if they didn't do good in a class, they lose an elective. They have to keep going, like they get the same amount of electives.
I don't know exactly how the middle school system works, but I can tell you this.
If you pass a class, like
Yeah.
you lose an elective coming here.
So I can tell you this, we're nothing like middle school. And that's what I tell students, because students come here and they think this is still kind of like the middle school system. And I don't know the middle school that well, but I can tell you that we are nothing like middle school. Like everything's different here. So kind of to answer that question, if there's a class that I can put into their schedule that they failed last year, like we said, sometimes the math classes, then I will do that. So yes, if I do that,
They'll
see,
lose an elective.
then they're going to lose an elective. And that's where I tell them, see, if you would have passed your IM1 last year, that would have been a free spot for you to take folklorico or for you to take computer science. But because you failed IM1 last year, that's one less spot that you have for this next year. So yes, kind of, but kind of no. So it just depends. Hasta luego. Bye, Diana. So Diana used to be my student many years ago. Like how many years ago? And her older brother and her older sister. This may be like 18. No, she.
When you were a teacher.
Yeah. This is when I was a teacher. So I used to be a history teacher. And then how old is your older brother and sister? Sammy and I. Oh wow! See, so her older siblings and her they used to be at the last school I was at. So I saw her sitting here today. I'm like, hey, I feel old now. It was good seeing you. It was good seeing you, Diana. Bye bye. Hasta luego. Okay. So that's it. Thank you. Thank you for coming. I think we've had good conversations. Those were good questions, and this is just what we did here. But just remember, as you walk out, as you guys are going home, if you think of something else that you guys didn't ask, feel free to reach out to us. I mean, we're here every day. If you guys come in and we're not here, go ahead and leave a note up front with Miss Marty, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Okay, muchas gracias por venir. Aquí
Thank you,
estamos para
everyone.
servirles cuando
Have a
quieran.
good day.
Thank you, Mr. Vega, por el cafecito. Gracias.
¿Por qué no están? We're not aligned with the middle school,
Huh?
like classes. Like, no, they have